OJ Simpson.
Dead.
Mental.
Rest
Okay,
in
next
peace.
bit. Fresh bit.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. That was the line, innit? Or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was the famous line that they
Have you heard
used.
the controversy around this?
As in around the gloves not fitting?
Yeah.
Go on and enlighten the viewer or the listener.
I don't know as much of this as I wish I did, but there was the idea that like if the glove didn't fit his hand, he can't be guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a like famous photo of him putting it on in court and his hand's just way too big for this glove. And apparently he had arthritis and was told not to take his arthritis medication. So his hand would sort of like blow up.
Swelled up.
And swell up and so that the glove wouldn't...
And
I heard about that.
The way
So
he's putting it
clever.
on as well, he had his hands out. Who puts a fucking glove on like that?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we know.
yeah.
We know.
Let's have a look. Here he is, yeah.
Actually, just a bit mental.
It's crazy that this was such a big point of the whole case.
Do you know about like the book and what happened with the book?
No.
He obviously wrote a book. Oh yeah, he ghostwriter, whatever. And in the apparently once the ghostwriter was like, you know, they sat down together talking about the incident and how things went, he would like be correcting him. Be like, it's not like that. It wasn't like that. So that was a big giveaway. And also the book was called If I Did It?
Yeah.
If I Did It, Confessions of a Killer or something like that. But the family of his wife, I think it was the family of his wife, won the case for the rights to the book. So they printed the book saying "If I Did It" and made the "if" tiny. So the cover basically says "I did it."
What?
Yeah, and I don't think it obviously got no money from it as well. I don't think. Pull up the book.
I think
book
that
cover.
if it's like tiny in the
It's
eye, isn't it?
inside the eye, and it says "if." It's
No way.
yeah, it's crazy. I was just reading about it recently. Yes. No, so that's one of them. But go on the
Yeah, go on the one next
red
to
one.
it.
Go on the red one because this is where they
Yeah,
actually
you can see
played
the if in at the top.
What?
You see it?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I did it. That is insane. So the family won the rights to his book that he did? Is that what happened here? And then they did this?
Because it was also, even though he was like found not guilty of like the criminal case or whatever you would call it,
Yeah,
he was found guilty in like a civil case. So I think it was a lot of money.
Mental.
It was a lot of money that went to the family or whatnot, and then stuff like the book rights and all that stuff.
Is it true that he did an armed robbery a couple of years
Yeah,
later as well?
to
Have you
get
seen
his shit back because he had his memorabilia. Oh, because he obviously was a famous sports star, or whatever, and they kidnapped the guy or something, or held him like in a chair
Yeah.
and wanted his stuff back.
I've seen a recreation of him in his like Ford Bronco knocking it down the freeway. It's so funny, bro. This guy is mental.
That's one of the coldest videos of all time.
Bro, he was cruising. Yeah, that was...
I bet that day was one of the fucking craziest days of all time. Like,
Yeah.
let's picture it today and like as a British citizen, right? As an English citizen, who is the equivalent? Like, this is the equivalent of like we're talking. It's got to be like
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane. All right, he's apparently yeeted someone, and he's driving down the M4
In his range.
and there's coppers chasing him. That it's hard to picture that.
Yeah.
It's not possible to picture that really.
And the
But that
fact and
happened.
we're all getting a live stream from a helicopter of watching Harry Kane legging it.
No.
Do you know how wild that is?
I bet that day was the craziest day, man.
Yeah, what
Not
year
in a
was
good way, but
what
like-
year was this in? Like, I must have not been around. Look,
94.
people running after this
But
thing.
you know what? He's not whipping it in a range though, because it has to be the equivalent of a Ford Bronco.
Yeah, is that not
So,
a range?
Like maybe I don't know, like a Toyota, something like
A
something
Defender.
Standard. Nah,
A
It's
Defender.
not worse, bro.
Really? No, Bronco's decent.
Was it Ford
think
Bronco
so.
back in the day? It looks like a van.
Bro, OJ Simpson was knocking around in it. This guy was
but
cruising.
this might be like his gardening type.
Oh,
car.
okay.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know. Surely that wouldn't be like a sports star's car.
Maybe.
Um,
Cool. Let's move on from this.
That is a bit mental though.
Fresh and fit. Oh, these guys. You ever seen these guys' stuff, Arthur?
No, what is it?
You definitely would have done. They're the guys that sit at a table and they have like OnlyFans girls and porn stars set there and they go like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm a high value man.
Oh, God,
Like
yeah.
that.
Okay, yeah. I've seen them on TikTok.
You know, actually, Andrew Tate, after he came on the pod, he messaged me saying, do you want the fresh and fit guys on?
Really? I
Yeah.
think we've been invited on their podcast before. I don't think I'd fit in well there. Probably not.
Oh, mate, we'd be so uncomfortable. They'd be
I'd
like,
be out of my depth.
because
Just a
they
little
kind of just like
nerd.
cook OnlyFans girls, but I don't know if they like cherry pick them, but they never pick ones that are good at speaking.
Well, this is what it is. They pick the ones that are keen for the promo, but probably don't have anything past that. They just want to promote themselves, and they don't really care how they come across.
Yeah,
I've seen them argue against pro-choice people because they're pro-life, and that thing about them basically telling the escort that they got pregnant to kill the baby is crazy.
Yeah. So, what, these guys are usually pro-life, are they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, really.
And so, but when it comes down to it, they're not pro-life.
Is that why they're getting stick?
Well, first of all, these guys claim that they are high-value men and that they would therefore only attract high-value women. Like, that's their whole thing, or like women that are maybe more pure, all this sort of stuff. So the big thing is like that there's been this escort that he's got her pregnant.
Yep.
It's like there's like two things wrong with it. First of all, he would be very much somebody that looks down on prostitution and all this sort of stuff. So the fact that he's even been caught sleeping with someone like that when he's always going on about how he wants to wife a pure woman and all this sort of stuff. And then the second thing, I guess, is this pro-life stuff. He's been pretty much begging the prostitute to take a pill when in reality he preaches pro-life. Okay. But let me tell you something about pro-lifers. This is going to be the case with so many of them. It's so easy to be far away and go pro-life, but then when you're in the shit, it's
different,
and you have that decision to make, a lot of these people will bottle it.
Yeah.
Or bottle it, quote
also,
bottle
so many
it,
of these pro-life guys are just pro-lifers to like be annoying and to make a point to be like stand against the crowd because they love being different to like the mainstream. I think that's why a lot of them do it.
Yeah. But anyways, that sort of stuff, I don't really watch too much stuff. You know, it's annoying because I watch some of their stuff and they do make valid points, but then there's loads of stuff where it's just littered with such extreme views, and you're just there like, when you first started, there was a bit of a decent message there, but it just got lost in a madness.
There often is. I think that's how a lot of people get like scooped into this sort of like crazy world, is that they say something that is like a really normal take that someone can agree with, and then when they go off the tangent, that they're like the person, like the kid sitting there going like, oh, of course I agree with this, you know, like someone if they don't know much about any kind of like social causes will be like, oh, of course I wouldn't want to kill a baby, and then they take it down this when, you know, bring it into abortion. And I think starting off on like, because I completely agree, so many times I'll watch them and I'll be like, oh, this guy's sitting here and for the last like 30 seconds, he's been like, you know what, if you can go to the gym, you'll feel a lot better. If you're feeling rubbish about yourself, try and sleep better and eat better. And like, you know, and you go, oh, that's completely fair. And then they go like, if you've got depression, it's not real. And you're like, oh, well, right, well, you kind of ruined all the good work you were doing. Because like, you know, they're so bad at finding a nice, healthy middle ground. Like,
well, do you know what it is though? It's not them being bad at it. They just know what gets the views. And by going there, that's how they put food on the table. And they will have noticed every time they say something that really pushes the boundaries like that, then their paycheck gets bigger at the end of the month. So, and I genuinely believe that that's this pro-life situation. They know by being, you know, hard pro-lifers that gets you the money, but behind the scenes, I guess not.